A tragic incident has rocked Iran and has been sending shockwaves around the world as the mystery around the sudden coma of a 16-year-old girl, Armita Geravand, unfolds. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Hear the Web by Tom and Lily, where we take you on auditory journeys through compelling news stories from around the globe.
Quite an unsettling situation, Tom. A seemingly average morning in Tehran turned into a heart-wrenching incident way too quickly for a schoolgirl. Terrorism on a subway, perhaps? Not in the conventional sense. This event is cloaked in uncertainty, suspicion, and crucially mounting outrage against the Iranian government. Today, we dive deeper into this sad turn of events and the turbulent landscape of women's rights in Iran.
The unsettling footage of the young girl, Armita, being dragged unconscious out of the Tehran subway has freshly stirred the turmoil about the troubling role of the so-called morality police that enforce hijab requirements in Iran.
Absolutely, Tom. This incident certainly reminds us of another tragic scenario that happened last year, where Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old woman, was arrested for violating the hijab rule and ended up dead in custody. This promises to be a loaded but necessary conversation as we peel back the layers of a deeper systemic issue.
Of course, it's not yet clear what made Armita collapse. The government narrative suggests it was due to her skipping breakfast, but intriguingly, all footage from within the subway car that could clarify the events leading up to her collapsing has not been released.
Other perspectives contradict this narrative, like journalist Farzad Seyfikaran, who reported that Armita engaged in a verbal conflict with hijab enforcing officers. One of them reportedly pushed her, and as a result, she fell, hitting her head on a metal object.
The lack of transparency from the Iranian government, paired with tight security around hospitalized Armita, has increased suspicions that they had a hand in her harm. This incident has sparked immense digital backlash, with citizens demanding a transparent report.
This leads us to remember the Mahsa movement, the nationwide uprising following Mahsa's tragic passing. It was a potent challenge to the ruling clerics, which resulted in the brutal suppression of protests and mass arrests.
Right, Lily. The government response to the ongoing defiance of the hijab mandate by women and girls has turned increasingly severe, with reports of imposing advanced tech like facial recognition software. The death of Mahsa and now the coma of Armita have made parents anxious for the safety of their young girls.
The global community, too, has expressed concern and shock over these events. Annalena Baerbock, Germany's foreign minister, for instance, voiced her concerns on social media, as did Abram Paley, the U.S. Deputy Special Envoy on Iran.
Indeed. Today's tale draws attention to how the struggle for women's rights in Iran is far from over. Voices rise in protest, defying oppressive norms, even in the face of escalating adversity. It questions the role of the state in upholding justice or becoming a source of fear.
Our hearts go out to Armita and her anxious parents, Armita Geravand and Shaheen Ahmadi, whose voices, full of concern and disbelief, echo the collective anxiety of parents across Iran. As we conclude today, let's hope for Armita's recovery and for societies everywhere to be more inclusive, just and respectful of individual freedom.
And we hope one day women in Iran can freely choose whether to wear a hijab or not. That's it for this episode of Hear the Web by Tom and Lily. Peaceful wishes to Armita and her family, and to every courageous individual pushing against oppressive forces. Until we meet again, stay curious, stay informed.